Record snowfall over the weekend, creating treacherous road conditions across the Charlotte metro, including counties to the north, north of our Charlotte area, of course, and Iredell County is one of them. Deputies responding to a number of calls that residents had to deal with. So joining us right now is Major Troy Miller from the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. Major, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Hi, thank you.
Give us a sense of what the weekend was like and what kind of call volume you guys had to deal with.
So, Saturday and Sunday, our deputies were out working, still answering calls. They still had several calls to respond to, which, luckily with four-wheel drive vehicles makes it somewhat easier. And they did try to handle as many calls as they could by telephone, but unfortunately, a lot of times you can't handle all situations that way. So our deputies were out continuously working all weekend, answering domestic disputes, alarm calls, that type of call volume.
Okay, I was going to ask what kind of calls were you getting? Anything related directly to the weather?
So luckily, we work well with the highway patrol, so they were, we assisted them in several ways with any traffic-related incidents. But mainly our focus is, answering calls for service, whether it be, situations that arise from domestic incidents, which the weather does impact that. So luckily, a lot of our calls were not traffic-related, and the highway patrol helps with that. So that's their main focus. So we would assist them, with several calls that way when we could.
Yeah, no, that is good. And obviously working with the other first responder departments, I assume, trying to at least get those roads managed and cleaned up so you can respond to the calls that you do. Moving through this week, what do you anticipate? Is it back to normal operation?
Yeah, luckily the temperature today is in the upper 30s, which is really helping to melt a lot of the roadways. Our interstates are mostly clear, and a lot of our major secondary roads are clear, but there's still several of these secondary roads that are covered in bad condition. So hopefully with the temperature rising, that will help us get back to normal. However, at night with the temperature getting in the lower and below freezing, so that really kind of hampers things, and our deputies have to use extreme caution when they're out responding to calls at nighttime. But hopefully the higher temperatures continue and will help us get back to normal.
Yeah, for sure. I want to ask you about crimes happening or these calls that are, behavioral, criminal, what have you. Is there a correlation between weather and certain behaviors that get folks into trouble? Like summer, sometimes we see, there's the heat gets to people and there's all kinds of crimes happening. Does that happen with really, really cold weather as well?
Yeah, a lot of times when people are not able to get out or cooped up in the house, so to say, that tends to lead to more domestic type incidents, unfortunately. So, the weather does play a role in the type of calls that we respond to.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But all right, Major, anything else you want our viewers to know, or perhaps folks there in Iredell County residents to know as we get kind of back to normal this week?
Yeah, just for the next couple of days, if you don't have to be out, don't go out, because at nighttime what is melting will freeze definitely, and it's going to cause some major issues on our secondary roads. So just we would ask people to use a lot of caution if they have to go out in a vehicle.
Absolutely. Always worth a good reminder. Major Troy Miller from Iredell County Sheriff's Office, appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks for catching us up for residents up there in Iredell County.
You're welcome. Thank you.